Hello and welcome to the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Johnstone, and I have an incredible offer for you today. What we've done is we've taken the 10 most profitable methods to grow your mortgage business that we have learned from interviewing the producers on this podcast, many of whom are doing over $100 million in volume per year. And we've packaged them together into a condensed 45-minute training where you get to learn the 10 most successful and profitable activities that you should be running in your mortgage business. Then we show you how to automate those processes with people and systems so that they run and continue to produce loan applications and new partners that want to send you business pre-booked into your calendar without you having to do any cold calls or chasing or really any work. It's a blueprint for you to be able to produce more in your business while actually working less. And you can go get that training today for free at chriswebinar.com. That's chriswebinar.com. So make sure you head over there today, grab that training for free, and make sure that you watch it, because the sooner you get started on implementing these strategies, the sooner you can see results and continue to grow your mortgage business. Thank you again for being here with us for this episode, and enjoy another one on the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. And welcome back, everybody, to the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. Today we have Jason Frazier with us. Jason, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, well, hey, Chris, thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to our discussion today.
Right on. Excellent. So just to give our listeners just kind of like a frame of reference, give us a little bit about your history, your background, and how you help the mortgage industry.
Yeah, so I've been in the industry full-time since 2009 is when I got in it. I was born into the mortgage industry. My mom she retired last year, but she was the president and CEO of Mason McDuffie Mortgage, which goes back to the late 1800s. So it's one of the oldest mortgage operators in the country. And in fact, she was one of the first female, or I should say woman, CEOs of a mortgage bank in the country back in the late 70s, early 80s. So I was born into it, man. So it's in my blood. I joined it full time in 2009. I came up in venture capital technology startups. I was born and raised in the San Francisco Bay Area. So that was the world that I grew up in, and decided to join the family business, which I did, and did that for almost 10 years. And then decided to go out on my own. I did some real estate coaching, ran a platform for that for mortgage and real estate professionals. And I've fast forward today, I've worked, I'm the EVP of growth for Lead Pops. I've worked both on the wholesale and the retail side. I'm a coach for next level loan officers, and I speak at events and podcast and write, I'm all about marketing and honestly all about helping loan officers get into the best position to succeed.
Nice. That's phenomenal. All right. So I am looking forward to a conversation about mortgage marketing. So
Perfect.
lots to unpack there. So what are you seeing right now as kind of like your number one go-to lead acquisition source for mortgage leads that are funding, not necessarily just generating leads, but actually generating closed deals?
Yeah, so and that's a good distinction. I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people think as leads as like deals on a platter, and that just isn't the case, because here's the simple truth. Everyone you come in contact is as a lead, but not everyone's a prospect. Yeah. Right? So it's important to make it that distinction and understand the stages of a customer journey. If I'm looking at deals that are funding, from the best lead source, I honestly go with either Google or YouTube, one and the same, right? They're both Google. Yep. But YouTube, and the reason why is those are the only two places you could really advertise that are based off of intent. Meaning, if I'm on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, doesn't mean you can't get deals from there. I know a lot of people that have been very successful. In fact, when I did consumer direct, I got probably about 30-40% of my fundings from Facebook ads, but those are cold audiences, right? You're hitting them. It's called interruption marketing. They're on Facebook. No one's on Facebook to get a mortgage or to find a real estate agent, find a mortgage professional. They're there for other reasons, and it's passive. So meaning they're in the scroll, they see your ad, whatever, it may speak to them, and you may get some success from it, but it has nothing to do with intent. When an ad or they find your video on YouTube, and I'll stick with YouTube because I think that's where loan officers can make the best use of their ad spend. It's all based off of intent, meaning I go on YouTube just like every other consumer is to find something specific to my need, right? I need to figure out how to replace the air filter in my refrigerator. I need to how to figure out how to get a Lego out of my son's nose that he stuck up there or something or other that someone has run into, right? It runs the gambit. But I'm there understanding like, hey, what is an adjustable rate mortgage? What does FHA mean? What is a first time home buyer cost? There's just a lot of questions. There's plenty of places you go to see what people are searching for, but it's based off of intent. So if I'm searching for that, I see an ad delivered from you, or I see your video in general, that's money because there's already intent there. So you have more of a warm customer, right? And so it's less time to nurture. And usually when you have intent like that, when they're actually taking the time, that means they're ready to take a next step, and also understand that you're not interrupting anything. You're basically serving up a result that they actually are looking for. So if I'm looking for the highest and best use of ad spend and close deals, it's definitely going to be in the Google ecosystem.
Very cool. That's awesome. So YouTube marketing, we've found to be very tricky. We've gone through umpteen, I guess, boilerplate video templates to try and generate mortgage leads. And every single time we come back to the fact that like the talking head mortgage professional who actually shoots their own content and puts their own videos out there is the one that we're able to generate better leads, they're higher quality, that sort of thing. So do you have any tips for our listeners on what type of video content to put out there? What do you see and work really well for lead gen right now?
Yeah, so just educational, right? Ginger Bell calls it edu marketing, right? It's just one and the same. And well, two things. One is education, right? Serve up the information that consumers are actually out there. So like I said, there's tools that you could use, Answer the Public being one of them, so you can find out what people are searching for as it relates to real estate and mortgage. Also understand, as a mortgage professional, we'll stick with mortgage pros. As a mortgage professional, nobody wants what you have, right? So that's one thing you got to understand, is that you are selling something that nobody wants. They want the end result of what you can provide with your service, but nobody wakes up saying, hey, I want to open my entire private life to somebody I don't know, to go through mounds of paperwork, probably deal with some frustrations, taxes, pay, deal with my employer, and be hundreds and thousands of dollars in debt for the pleasure, right? No one wants that waking up. They want the home, right? They want what a home provides them. So from a loan officer's perspective, your content should really be focused on the reasons why they're coming to you, not for the service itself. Now, with that, you mix in some things about understanding about, hey, what do rates mean? What's the difference between when the Fed raises rates and what does that do with mortgage rates? Things that people are searching for, and be educational. But what I found as being best is to be that, what Gary Vaynerchuk has been done ad nauseum, but the digital mayor of your market. So what I found is that if you're doing hyper local content then about the market that you serve, you're not only are you going to get people giving you leads from that, but you'll actually start to be made more warm with your connections, that they share out your content to other people right now. Because here's an example, right? If I'm doing something that's educational, I'm getting thousands of views, people are commenting on it, and I'm getting leads from it, that's one thing. But what's the shareability of that content? How many people are really going to say, you know what, Chris, that was you blew my mind on what reverse mortgages are, or HECMs, or like, I had no idea what that is. I always thought it was like a scam, but you've really changed my mind on it. Now, unless that video was really like earth-shattering to them, chances of them sharing that out to their sphere or other people, probably not, unless they ask about reverse mortgage or something. Now, if I'm a loan officer, I'm doing hyper local video about I live in Alpharetta, about downtown Alpharetta, Georgia, right?
Yeah.
That has shareability. People are going to share that out because they want to share about where they live. And what they like and what they love, which is their community, and understand that it's not just about buying a house. They're buying a community. They're buying the goal of living in a certain community, because they're
Right.
Whether it's shopping, whether it's the school system, or it's that, unless they are agoraphobic and they're in their house 24/7, they're going to be out in that community, right?
Yep.
So talk about that. That's a great way to get just moving leads, because I could speak from experience moving into different city. Like, my daughter wants to look at what museums are and parks, what are things to do with families, what outdoor activities, rivers, lakes, that type of stuff. If you're the person delivering that information and delivering it because, hey, I'm in this community, I'm all about this community. I'm Mr. Alpharetta. If you're going to look at anything Alpharetta, you're going to find my videos about it. That is something that's shareable. That's something that, hey, who cares if you're a mortgage professional? You're that guy or that gal that's showing them all that information that they actually care about. And you'll find out that you will not only get leads from that. I'm not, and look, guys, I'm not talking as someone that guesses or theorizes. It's like, I've done this as a practitioner. It absolutely works. You could actually go look. When I used to work for a company called EPM, you could see Alpharetta, Decatur, and Roswell. We did hyperlocal videos for that. We even had HGTV reach out to us because of one of our videos, because that's what people care about. They care about where they're going to be living, or they care about where they live now, things to do, things they don't know about. So if you are the one that's giving them all that information, best places to watch fireworks, pumpkin patches, Christmas tree farms, splash pads, amusement parks, fairs, if you're the one that's just giving them that information, you will get more leads than you know what to do with. And a perfect example on the real estate side is someone named Karen Carr, which, Chris, you may have heard of. She's a great real estate agent for the Real Brokerage, but she has built her entire business. She's actually here in Georgia and Savannah. She's built her entire business off of YouTube. That is where all her business comes from now. And all she did was start talking about things, answering questions, because as a mortgage professional, look in your sent items, right? My friend Scott Shang, another mortgage professional, says, hey, you need everything you need to create content is in your sent folder in your email. You answering the same question 20,000 times, right? Now you do it because you know there's an audience for it, because if they're asking for it, other people are searching for it as well.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, that's great advice. That's fantastic. So flipping from YouTube over to the search side of things, for our listeners, like, what do you see and work really well on Google search, and how should they approach their search marketing?
So the first mistake, again, so you want to be hyperlocal. That's something you're going to hear me talk about a lot if you see my content or what out there. But hyperlocal is number one for me, because that's what people really, really care about, is things that are local to them. Because one is, if I'm on Google and if I don't know how to really, it's funny, you see those memes about like, hey, I have a skill, it's called knowing how to use Google correctly, because a lot of people don't. Like, being able to search. My wife, same thing. She's like, how do you find that? Like, I'm searching, and I'm like, you don't know how to search on Google, right? Like, it actually is a craft to be able to search correctly on Google. And so a lot of people don't, right? And so you got to understand what people are actually searching for. And you need to get outside of your own head from that, because I hear it all the time, loan officers, okay, you want SEO, you want to be found on search. What do you want to rank for? First-time home buyers, good luck. Mortgage, refinance, good luck. You're going up against $100 million ad, if not billion-dollar ad budgets of the major banks, major aggregators, everyone buying those search terms. And honestly, that's just for keywords. It's not really actually what people are going for. So the way that you do that or the way that you combat that is if you go to Google and type in how to get a mortgage, right? Or some other things. And again, like I said, you could use a tool like Answer the Public to see what people are actually searching for on Google. And when you do, Google actually does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Is that you search, and for those that are listening to this, after either now while you're listening, because I know podcasts are passive, or if after the episode, search how to get a mortgage, right? Or best things about a mortgage, pitfalls, things that people are actually searching questions, right? Do that. What you will find is Google will say what other people are searching for, and it will have a list of questions. All you have to do is create content, ads, landing pages, funnels, anything based off of those questions, because people are searching for them. Google is showing it to you because there's active traffic on there, because Google is all about traffic, right? Because they can't be the number one ad, the ad aggregator, if in fact people are not getting results from their ad spend, right? They're going to lose money, and someone's going to go somewhere else eventually, right? So if you actually play their game, which you should, and see, hey, people are also searching for, and you see a question about FICO scores and other things, you just have, and if you can answer those questions, and if you're a mortgage professional, you should be able to answer those questions, you'll see, then that's a YouTube video, right? Or that's a blog post, and blogging's key, right? If I could give you any advice, it's get on YouTube and get on blogs and start merging the two together, right? Start embedding your YouTube videos in with blog, because then you get double SEO value, right? And so look what people are actually searching for, do that, but also try to go against the grain with what people are putting out there. Someone's like refinance, right, in my city. It's like, no, it's like, hey, look at, why does someone do a refi, right? So think about that. Hopefully you guys are asking questions to your customers. It's not just about saving money, right? Because that's what most loan officers will tell you. Oh, why does your customer want to get a refi? Oh, because they want to save money on their payment. Why do they want to save money on their payment? Not just to save. Now, sometimes it's just to save money.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's to pay off debt, to start saving for college, for pay off cars, whatever it happens to be. There's a reason why. And so then you could start making ads or blog post landing pages based off the reasons.
Yes.
Why is someone doing that? And if you do that, then that is what's going to matter, and you will get a lot better results, because it goes back to that warm intent of the person that's searching. And so that's my recommendation. And as a coach, that's what I coach my loan officers to do, is to start blogging about their local markets, right? Because that's great SEO value, and it's evergreen and will stay there for a very long time.
Yep.
And you won't have to put any ad spend about it. Do YouTube, because you'll see YouTube videos pop up in search as well. But blogging and YouTube, but also create the content that is what people are searching for, as opposed to what you think they need to hear.
Yeah, it's super valuable, and some great resources in there as well. So now let's talk a little bit about, so we get our content in front of those people. What are you finding are the greatest calls to action? Like, is it, hey, go to my website and fill out this form? Is it call me directly? Is it like, how are you seeing that first step in the lead conversion process? What's working best there?
Yeah, so this goes to something I call WTE, and that's what to expect, right? So here's the thing, is that people actually want to be directed, right? Yep. People actually want to be managed, and don't take like manage meaning like, hey, I want a boss or something like that. People want to be shown what to do, right? Because a lot of people get confused and they don't know, right? So your calls to action should be to tell them what you want them to do. Yep. Now, you want to stay away from words like forms and stuff like that, because those aren't fun and they like whatever. But right, but you know what they want, right? Yep. And this is all marketing 101, right? People are either moving towards pleasure or they're moving away from pain, right? So your calls to action, and again, it also depends on how they're coming into wherever they are, wherever that call to action happens to be, right? Because everything on a customer journey is a conversion point, right? Or a conversion opportunity, right? So first step is like they click on your ad and now they're on your page. Great, now you've converted them. Now what happens, unfortunately, is that then loan officers start off with a video of themselves that no one's ever going to watch. No one cares about who you are or why you do what you do. They will at some point, but not up front. Remove friction, right? You got to remove points of friction. So they click on your ad, they go to your landing page. If your ad says something specific and it looks a certain way, or your blog post that you're using as a lead magnet to get to that landing page or whatnot, your landing page needs to be almost an exact mirror of where they came from, right? Your journey should look exactly the same, use the same terminology, say the same things. Because, for example, if it's like, hey, this is, I have found a great way on how to save money for college, for my kids, right? And then they go to your landing page and it says refi now, right? That's not a great experience. And even though you are technically telling them what to do, that's not what it is. You have everything continue on with that vibe throughout the whole process of their landing page. It's about saving money for school. And how do you do that? Through a refinance, right? And it's like, hey, if you want to do that, these are the next steps you take, and let's find out if you qualify today, or let's find out this, as in together, let's do this, right? And this is what you do. And guess what? When you do that, this is what happens next. This is what's happened next, because a lot of people are like, oh, is this going to be behind some stupid paywall where I have to do all that stuff? Diffuse a bomb before it goes off. A lot of people try to do this stuff after the fact, and it doesn't matter, right? Set expectations, tell them what to expect, right? Throw a little humor in there. But that's a call to action, is make sure that I don't care what your brand colors are. You got to understand of what someone actually is going to do. So people are like, well, I don't like the color orange or green. Well, it's okay. Well, you don't want people to click on the button then, right? It's because my stuff's purple, right? That's my brand color. It's purple, right? So I want everything to be purple. Okay, put elements in there, but do you care about what your brand looks like, or do you care about them actually doing what you want them to do, right? And so again, you got to get out of your own way on a lot of these things. Colors matter on the buttons, right? Have a great call to action. Let's do this. What's next? You did this. That's great. We're going to save money for your school. And let's find out how we do this, right? Boom, next step. Now, hopefully, like, with lead pops, hopefully we have funnels built in for that. But, if not, if you're using something like ClickFunnels or another other product, make sure that your funnel, again, is carrying on that same conversation for how they got into your ecosystem to begin with, right? So your calls to action should not be cookie cutter or boilerplate. Make it exactly to the vibe of where they're at or how they got to that landing page in the first place.
Yeah, man, very, very valuable stuff, Jason. That's incredible. So now, outside of Google and YouTube, what do you see as coming up? So I'm hearing a lot of people talking about trying to get organic on TikTok and all of that kind of stuff. So can you talk about where you see marketing headed in the future and what you think loan officers should be keeping on their radar?
So one thing is, it's funny, for the last 6 years, and Ginger Bell, I mentioned her earlier, she would agree 100% with what I'm about to say. We always say it's like the year of video, right? Finally, and we've been saying that for like 6 years, right? It's time. Like, start using video.
Yeah.
You're really, and this is another thing, and I'll kind of go back to mindset. Is I've always had loan officers say, well, hey, the old things are just as good as the new, and I don't have to get video. I'm still getting business. And now they're singing a little different tune this year because this market's a little different. But here's what I'll say is, I'm like, okay, are you getting all the business that you want to get? Usually the answer is no. Okay.
Yeah.
So well, the fact that you're not doing video and showing them all the verifiable and proof that video actually does equate to, getting customers or business, right? Whatever you want to call it, leads to prospects, to customers. Do you think not having video would allow you to get more deals? Yeah. And usually they'll, it depends on how honest they want to be with themselves. They're like, yeah. I'm like, so you're leaving money on the table by not doing video. I'm not saying you throw everything out that you're doing and then just do video. What I'm saying is start adding video to the mix, right? And so what I'll say is that you got to start doing video, right? And TikTok, obviously, you mentioned TikTok. That's a great platform for that. And I do know loan officers that are getting business off of TikTok by being funny. Now, being educational and funny and entertaining. And that's what I'll tell you is that when you're doing video, you got to understand the platform that you're on. Facebook, LinkedIn, you can get away with a certain type of video. TikTok is an entirely different animal, right? It's an entirely different animal. They're there for humor and entertainment. That's number one and number two, right? And they're actually the same thing, right? They're in there. Number one is entertainment. Humor is part of that as well. And so if you can entertain, and it doesn't mean you have to lip sync, doesn't mean you have to sing, but your video needs to be fun. And it also cannot be overly produced. A video that's overly produced is going to look fake and inauthentic, right? All the studies have shown that. All the data shows that. If you're vertical on your phone, you're talking to it, looks nice. Audio is important. Out of everything, audio is the most important. Lighting matters too, right? You don't want to be dark. But at the same time, is that, like, you got to understand the vibe of that platform. What people try to, like, hey, I'm just going to do this one piece of content and post it everywhere, right? You got to repurpose the content. There's a difference. Posting everywhere isn't the same as repurposing the content, because when you're repurposing, it means you're using it for a different reason, right? And on a different platform. So if you make one video, right, it may work great on TikTok. It may fall flat on LinkedIn, right? Or Facebook. And something on LinkedIn probably definitely is going to fall flat on a TikTok or a Reels or stories or whatnot, right? So you got to understand the platforms you're posting for. And look, this isn't rocket science. You can learn all of this in a weekend if you wanted to. If you wanted to take the time to really learn the stuff, you could take a weekend on YouTube, on TikTok, and just start and nobody cares, right? If you do a video that sucks, guess what? Join the club. We have shirts made, right? Like, I've made a lot of content that sucks, right? In the beginning when you're starting off, because you don't know what you don't know, right? But eventually you get good over time, and stop being afraid. And who cares? The point is that, we have a saying in Next Level, is that my crappy marketing is better than your no marketing. Right. So do crappy marketing and then learn how to do that better and make it less crappier. And then at some point it will be good marketing, and then you won't matter. And it won't matter that you were afraid to press the button on your phone to record. You won't matter how you looked or how you sound. I hate the way I sound and the way I look on video, right? Like, I don't like it, but guess what? that's what I look like, and this is what I sound like, apparently. So like, I just have to get used to it, right? So if I'm okay with speaking at events or doing presentations or just having conversations with people, then I need to be okay with being on video, and you just have to get past that. And so once you do that, you'll find out that your role gets a lot better.
That's amazing. Jason, thank you again for being so generous with your knowledge and with your time, and for sharing us with us today. That's absolutely fantastic. If people want to learn more about you, where do they go to get more information?
Yeah, so I'm all over social media, right? So that's generally where I'm answering stuff for. So you could go to LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Those are the three channels that I would say. LinkedIn and Facebook is where I spend most of my time. Instagram, I'm on there, not a lot, but I do throw stories and stuff on there. But that would be the best way to get a hold of me. And then we'll just connect, and then through Next Level, you can connect with me through the Next Level website, with this nextlevello.com, or you can connect with me on my podcast site, which is mortgagexpodcast.com.
Awesome. Right on. Cool. Well, thanks again, Jason. It's great to have you on the show, and everybody, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's Chris. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you enjoyed our guest today on the podcast. This is a reminder that we have just finished taking the greatest lessons from all of our guests and packaging them together into a brief online video presentation that's going to teach you the 10 most profitable ways to grow your mortgage business. And then we show you how to automate those processes in your business with people and systems so that you get the results without you having to do the work every day. This is quite literally a blueprint so that you walk into your mortgage business every day with pre-booked appointments with borrowers that want to meet with you and referral partners that want to send you business, so that you are spending your time inside your mortgage business on the highest dollar per hour activities, and you truly become the executive of your business, a true business owner, rather than just somebody who's going to a job every day and making a wage on the way through. This is an absolutely incredibly powerful training for you, and I cannot wait for you to experience it. So head on over to chriswebinar.com. That's chriswebinar.com to get that free training today. Now, if you could do me another favor, if you enjoyed this episode, please head on over to iTunes, search the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast, and give us a 5-star rating and review, really on any podcast platform that you're watching this on. That just 30 seconds of your time goes to help another loan officer in the industry discover this information and really help put their life and their business on track for more success. We are all in this together, and there is more than enough for all of us in the industry. So I would love if you left us that 5-star rating and review. Don't forget to stay tuned for our next episode, and I'll see you then.